Thank you, Mike. And our last panelist is Sushila Raja, a sociologist and qualified counsellor who has also worked in the UK and South Africa. She is a volunteer with the Bureau of the Commissioner General and conducts a very effective counselling program within the centre. But I should also add, because we not only need to help the beneficiaries, we also need to make sure the background they go into is a productive one. So she also conducts capacity building programs for government officers of the district secretariats in which the beneficiaries will be working in the future.
Thank you, sir. I've had the good fortune of working with the Bureau of Commissioner General. I was involved in 3 programs. The first being the mentoring program, where I was involved with a number of others in training about 10 counsellors who then went on to train the beneficiaries just before they left to join the community. The second program is the psychosocial program, which is quite innovative in that we ran a 6 weeks program counseling the beneficiaries to counsel themselves and to become counselors. So they had instructions in peer counseling where they were able to do counsel each other for about 6 weeks. They learned other techniques such as yoga, meditation, and also learned to work together. And one of the creative things that happened by the end of the program is that there was some transformation, and they wanted to go out and become counselors. And now we have, out of the 50, we have got 40 who will be following a national diploma program and will be working with the department, with the Ministry of Social Services, counseling the community. Another program, because this was such a successful program, we have now decided to go on and train another 50 who then would become, hopefully, barefoot community workers. Thirdly, I was involved in the awareness program in Vavuniya, Jaffna, and in Colombo, and actually highlighting, the need for healing and to be able to move forward, and also explaining my own experiences from the beneficiaries and their need. They were putting it across very, very strongly and very sincerely, asking for change, asking to be able to move forward and heal and realize their full potential and be citizens of Sri Lanka.
Thank you very much. You've now been able to hear a lot of the work that was done and members of what I would call the rehabilitation team. I'm very pleased that we had a couple of ladies, because I should note that though I much admire the work the General has done, perhaps my favorite hero in the rehabilitation process was the captain in charge of the area where the girls, the former female combatants, were being rehabilitated. And she looked about 18 herself. But whenever the girls were leaving, there were just floods of tears on either side. And this, to me, was a testament to the way in which these people work together so well. We do have some time for questions, so could I throw the floor open now?
I'm General Wadud from Bangladesh. I would like to, first of all, appreciate all the presenters and all the panelists who have made the comments. You have really educated us. Thank you very much. I would also like to appreciate, comment and congratulate the Sri Lankan Authority and particularly the armed forces for winning this long-drawn war. And finally, I think it is the last scope I speak, so I would like to thank everyone involved in arranging the program and for all the hospitality that has been extended to us. In the process of presentation, one thing was coming into my mind. I do understand the Sri Lankan security forces played the vital role in the rehabilitation program, but how about the local administration and the local governments. It was a long-drawn war of 30 years, but did the local administration and the local agencies could effectively function, and how the international organizations and groups definitely have come in for this rehabilitation process, how they were integrated into that system. If you'd like to make some comments, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. We have a number of government ministries working together, though we conduct the program. Firstly, the Bureau of Commissioner General Rehabilitation is directly under the Ministry of Rehabilitation and Prison Reforms. Then we have Ministry of Social Services, Ministry of Education, then Ministry of Languages and Reintegration. All these ministries joining hands with us together for all these development programs. And there's a action plan which is approved by the cabinet for the future of these beneficiaries while undergoing the rehabilitation and after getting reintegrated back to the community. And talking on the international agencies, the head of IOM is here today, and he's been very kind with us, and he has been a big support for us. And from the beginning, they have been part of the program, and ICRC have been there from the beginning. They have pioneer members also. Then UN agencies were there, they were in and out of the program. UNICEF played a major role with the children's programs. So we have all these agencies, all these ministries. It's a comprehensive combined effort. But we had done one thing. The army, the military conducted it because we wanted to throw away that fear psychosis which was forced into their heads by the LTT leadership to hate. Now I can very positively say now they love the uniforms. Thank you.
Thank you, General Mehta. Yeah. So, Mr. Kilcullen, General Mehta first, and then Mr. Kilcullen. Okay.
Sorry, I'm hiding behind the lectern here, so you can't really see me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to congratulate you on what seems to be a very serious engagement with the important problem of reconciliation and peace building. I think that Sri Lanka has the opportunity now to show the way to the world in terms of how to do a world-class job on this very important issue. Paul Collier, who is a World Bank economist, who some of you may be aware of, has done a detailed study of civil war and insurgency, which showed that in very many cases, countries that come out of a civil war fall back into conflict within a decade after the end of the military operations. And he found that the biggest single factor in preventing a return to conflict is a genuine process of reconciliation, accountability, and peace building. And I think to the extent that you can follow through on this very good beginning that you've talked about this morning, that will be a very important safeguard to prevent the return of violence. So I want to congratulate you for what I think is an extremely important step forward. And I know that I and a lot of other people will be watching very closely as this develops, because I think there will be some important lessons to be learned from the way this process goes forward.
Thank you. General Mehta.
Thank you, Chair. Just like to add to what David has said, that congratulations for this, what one of the panelists called a world-class rehabilitation program. Unfortunately, there is very little PR about this. This must be marketed more enthusiastically. But having said that, I have 4 short questions. My first question is, was there at any time a thought about reintegrating some of the ex-combatants into the security forces? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is, was there ever any use made of ex-combatants in the demining process, about locations and where and what kind of help? My third question is about de-radicalization. What is the experience about zero de-radicalized ex-combatant? Some idea on that. And I hope you will share your expertise with a friendly neighbor. For example, in Nepal, they are going through this rehabilitation process, and instead of Nepal reinventing the wheel, some help could be transferred to Nepal. Thank you.
Thank you, General.